Hi! All right, first video, here we go. I wrote out Kara's Ebb and Flow, your first Ebb and Flow class. It's backwards to you, but I have this lesson all planned out just for you. So make sure to leave your comments below and let me know what you think. Let's get started. So you're gonna make your way onto your mat, finding a comfortable seat. Maybe you want to elevate the hips with a blanket or a pillow, not necessary. Maybe just sitting basic, cross-legged, or if that's uncomfortable on the knees, you can always sit with the legs straight out. So I don't want to spend too much time talking about breath, but it's just really important to spend the first few minutes of the practice really turning inward, just forgetting the past, no regrets, not worrying about the future, plans leaving your mind. We're just trying to clear the chatter that we always have going on in our heads. So you're just going to find your comfortable seat and close your eyes. And just begin to focus on your breath. I don't know if you already learned the yogi breath. It is known as Ujjayi breathing or victorious breath. And a way to practice it, you can inhale through the nose, open the mouth and force out the exhale. So it's kind of like you're fogging a mirror. You're pushing that exhale out. So the Ujjayi breath is doing that in and out of the nose. So the mouth is closed. You're inhaling through the nose and exhaling out of the nose with that audible sound. And it takes a while to get that breath, so maybe you just practice inhaling through the nose and exhaling out of the mouth. But we're just going to take a moment here in this quiet state. Again, we're trying to bring ourselves into the present moment. That is what yoga is really all about. It's just the willingness to be present. So a slight tuck of the chin toward the chest. Hands are down on the knees if you want to feel a bit more grounded. And just begin to focus. Inhale and exhale. If you have trouble, maybe you give yourself a little mantra. Sometimes you find your mind wandering as you're focusing on the breath. You can count the breath. You can actually say inhale, exhale. Or maybe finding a little mantra like I am safe, I am loved, I am creative. Anything you want to bring a little more into your life, just say that to yourself as you're breathing in and out. I'm going to play a little background music for us and hopefully you can still hear me. And we're going to start with seated cat-cow. So those hands resting on thighs or knees, and it's just the same as you would do cat-cow on palms and knees. You're going to inhale, you're going to puff your chest out, arch your back, shoulder blades come together, and you're looking up toward the sky. Exhale, you're going to round your spine, tucking your chin toward your chest. So just flowing back and forth with your breath a few times. Everything looks better in my dream. My computer appears to keep sleeping, so hopefully this video is still going to work. And hopefully it's still recording. I hope. So continuing with that seated cat-cow, inhale, arching back, looking up. Exhale, you're rounding, tucking chin to chest. One last time, inhale, looking up. Exhale, rounding, shoulders come forward, chin to chest. Coming back to that neutral seat, we're going to inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, we're hinging at the hips and just coming into an easy forward fold here. So walk your hands out as far as they'll go. Let that forehead hang heavy. Maybe you're here, as long as you're looking down. Maybe your forehead's reaching down toward the mat. Wherever you are is fine. Inhale, you're walking your hands back towards your body. We're just going to take a gentle twist here. So we're going to inhale the arms out and up. And on the exhale, we're bringing our left hand down to that right knee, and our right hand is coming behind us. And we're just looking back toward that right shoulder. So you're trying to keep your spine long here. Inhale, you lengthen, and on the exhale, maybe you twist just a little deeper. Inhale, coming forward, arms rise. Exhale, twisting to the opposite direction. So again, right hand finding thigh or knee, left hand behind you. And you're looking back toward left shoulder. And inhale, gently coming forward. We're just going to take the opposite cross of our legs here. So the non-habitual leg coming in front, which might seem really weird, might feel strange. But just bringing the opposite leg in front. Inhale, reach those arms out and up. Exhale, we're hinging at those hips. Easy forward fold. Just a breath or two here. Inhale, walking hands back towards your body, bringing yourself up. We're going to do those same twists here with that non-habitual leg in front. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twisting to the right. Maybe you notice you're twisting a little deeper. Maybe not. Just looking back toward right shoulder. Inhale, gently coming forward, arms reach. Exhale, we're twisting to that opposite side. And then inhale. We're going to gently come forward. We're going to come into our child's pose now. So you have two options, and I hate that this keeps sleeping. I'm never going to know if you can see me. This is not going to be good. So we're going to find our child's pose here. So you can try both ways. First, we're going to do the hips back to those heels, legs together. Exhale, we're bringing that forehead down. You can walk those hands forward. Inhale, you're coming back up. And now take your child's pose wide-legged. So instead of keeping those knees together, you're going to bring them about mat distance. And same thing, forehead down toward the mat. Few deep breaths here in this wide-legged child's pose, known as wisdom pose. Walk those fingertips out as far as they'll go, feeling the stretch in the side body. And then bring those hands back. We're going to come up to all fours here. So we're going to come into our tabletop position. Those shoulders above the wrists. You want those knees just below the hips, and then flow through cat-cow here. Inhale, you're arching that back, looking up. Exhale, you're rounding, tugging chin toward chest. flowing back and forth just a few times, following your own breath. Just inhaling, arching that back, looking up. Exhale, you're rounding that spine, turning your chin towards your chest. And then coming back into that neutral table, we're going to challenge our balance here and work on our core. So if you can see from here, we're going to inhale, extend our right arm out. Exhale, we're going to kick that left leg back. Looking down toward the ground. And you keep that belly button tight in toward the spine here. And we're going to take this a little further by doing what are called pointer dogs. So on an exhale, you bring that knee and elbow in toward the chest, rounding the spine. Inhale, you're lengthening back out. So just following your own breath, exhale, crunching in. Inhale and lengthen. Two more times from here. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, crunch. Last time. And releasing, palm and knee down, maybe giving those hips a little shake. Same thing on the opposite side. So we're going to extend our left arm and then kick that right leg back, keeping the gaze down. That back foot can be pointed or flexed, whatever feels better. And then doing those pointer dogs here. Exhale, you crunch in, round that spine. Inhale, you lengthen. Following your breath. Two more times from here. Exhale, crunching in. Inhale and lengthen. Last time. And releasing palm and knee down and just sending hips back to heels. Taking a quick child's pose. Just giving yourself a little break. Finding that breath again if you lost it. And from here, we're going to begin to flow between our child's pose and our cobra pose. So I know you know what both of those are. On an inhale, you're going to round up through table. Exhale, you're going to start bending your elbows, lowering down to your belly, feet are flat. Inhale, just a slight little cobra. Exhale, release. Inhaling up and back, child's pose. So flowing between these two poses a couple more times. Inhale, round. Exhale, release. Inhaling up to that cobra. Exhaling down. And then inhaling up and back. Again, we're going to inhale, round up. Exhale, bending the elbows, keeping them close to the body. Shoulder blades come together. Inhale, lift to cobra. Exhale, release. Inhaling up and back. Child's pose. This will be our last time. So when you're ready, inhale, you're going to really round that back. Exhale, lower. Inhaling up, cobra. Exhale, release. Inhaling up and back. Finding that child's pose. From here, we're going to inhale and round up through table. We're going to tuck those toes under, pushing our hips up and back, finding downward facing dog. And of course, I can't tell if you can see what I'm doing because I don't know why this thing won't stop sleeping. All right, so we're in downward dog. Your heels might be nowhere near the mat, but as your flexibility improves in the back of the legs, you'll be able to get those heels down. You're pushing into all 10 fingers and you're pushing that chest back towards your thighs. So it's like an upside down V. Your feet are about hip width distance. And your hands are about as wide as your shoulders, maybe a little more. And how you can tell if you're in the right down dog for your body is inhale and ripple forward and find a plank pose. So your feet and your hands should not move. So where your hands are and your feet are in the top of a push-up or in a plank position, that's where your down dog is going to be. My hands and feet are in the same position in plank and in down dog. So maybe just a few times, with an inhale, you're going to ripple forward, find that plank. Your heels are pushing back, trying to keep that body in a straight line. Tummy is tight. Exhale, hips up and back, down dog. One more time, we're going to inhale, ripple forward. Exhaling those hips up and back. And if down dog becomes too much for you at any point, you can just do it from your knees. So it's kind of like a modified child's pose, really. Your hips just don't reach all the way back. So from here, we're going to inhale and we're going to find that plank again. But this time we're going to walk our hands back toward our feet until we're hanging out in our forward fold. So those feet are hip distance. Usually the hands should plant on the mat, so bend your knees as much as you need to get your hands down. And maybe you just grab opposite elbows and just allow the top part of your body to act as weight, pulling you down. Maybe just swing back and forth. You shake the head yes, shake the head no. On your next exhale, we're going to just walk those hands back out to our plank. Hold it for just a breath. And then we're going to walk those hands back toward our feet, finding our forward fold. Head is hanging heavy, feeling that stretch in the back of the legs. Maybe you bend one knee as you straighten out the other leg. Feeling it in the hamstrings, maybe the calves. And with an inhale, you're just going to slowly, with knees slightly bent, round up to stand. Very slow. Head's coming up very last. And when you reach the top, maybe a shoulder rotation or two. So from here, we're going to come into our squat pose. So feet are usually mat distance, maybe even a little wider. I have really tight hips, so my squat's really wide. Heels are in, toes are out. You're going to inhale the arms up, bringing them together down to heart center. And then coming into that squat pose. So this might be your squat, and maybe you have to hold your hands here just to kind of keep you up. But as the flexibility improves, you might be able to get further and further down to where the elbows come inside those knees. Maybe if it's really hard for you, this probably isn't a good idea, but doing it against a wall, just practicing so you have that support on your back. Some people find it easier when their butts have something to rest on to get into that squat. So figure it out for you. Maybe it's best if you use a wall, but this is called our Malasana pose or squat. So we're just going to breathe a few deep breaths here. Maybe you close the eyes. Try not to focus on the quads or those hips, but focus on that breath. With an inhale, we're going to stand up, raise the arms up, and we're going to take a side stretch. So the hips are going to go to the left, your hands are going to go to the right. Just getting that nice stretch in the side body. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, we're coming right back into that squat pose. So again, if you get those elbows in your knees, the inside of the knees are pushing gently into the elbows. Elbows are pushing those knees out. If you're here, no worries. You'll get there as the flexibility improves as you practice. Inhale, we're going to stand, arms rise. Left side stretch here, or I guess hands go left, hips go right, so right side stretch. Feeling the length in the side body. Inhale up. Exhale, last time, I promise, down to that squat. And if neither of these squats against the wall or however you're trying it, you can always take our goddess pose instead, which is just like this. Still getting that stretch here. The hip flexors, still feel that burn in the quads. Inhale, pushing into those feet, straightening out the legs, and just heel toe, feet back under the hips. And we're going to work on our balance here. So we're going to do our tree pose. So we're going to plant our left foot down. Maybe you fan out those toes, spreading them out, giving yourself a nice wide base. And then find out where your tree pose is for you. So working on balance, this might be your tree pose, a kickstand here. So your toes are still resting, but all of your weight is pretty much on the left foot. Maybe you don't need that kickstand and you can come inside of the shin. Maybe you even have the flexibility to bring it inside that thigh. Just never bring it outside of that knee. You want to keep away from the joints. So wherever your tree is, the goal is to fan that leg out so that you feel the stretch in your hip. Again, I've got really tight hips, so it's going to take a long time for me to be able to get my knee out. But it takes practice. So finding your tree, wherever it may be, using that foot to push into the thigh, but the thigh is also pushing against that foot. Maybe your hands come to heart center. If this is too much, you can keep those hands on the hips. Or again, in prayer position at heart center. Few breaths. Balance is meant to be playful, so maybe you rock around in it, maybe you fall out a couple times. That's okay. So we'll move into the other side. Again, we're going to plant that right foot and fan out those toes so you get a really nice wide base. Travis can actually do way better stuff. He's got that weird second toe longer than the first. So it's like an extra, it's like a finger or a claw, and he can just like hold himself down. But with us, we have those toes that go perfectly, so our balance is a little harder to keep. So then you find that tree. Again, it can be here, kickstand. Again, all that weight is in the right leg. So I mean, if this is where it is, you're still trying to work on balance and you're still trying to press that knee out to the side so you feel that stretch in the hip flexors. You can keep your hands here on your hips. Again, you can move that foot to the inside of the shin. Maybe not today, but maybe someday inside that thigh. Keeping those hands here, or maybe bringing them to heart center. Full expression of tree, those arms extend and fan out, so you can try that too. Sometimes it's fun to act as if you're a tree blown in the wind, trying to keep your balance as you move all around. One last breath here. And then exhale, you're just going to release the foot down, maybe shake out those hips. We're going to make our way back onto our mat. So next, we're going to do a little flow between forward fold and reverse table. But I'll show you a harder option too, so you can try both and see what one you like better. So I'm going to go sideways so you can see me. So first we're going to find our basic staff pose. So move any flesh. You really want to ground those sits bones down. So pushing that flesh out to the side. Feel those hamstrings and calves press into the mat and those toes come back toward your face. So you might notice your heel lifting. So you'll get a better stretch in the back of the legs if those toes come back toward you. Shoulder blades come together, puff the chest, and just place the palms beside the hips. This is our staff pose. You're going to inhale those arms up to the sky, and on the exhale, hinge at those hips and fall forward. So maybe you're here holding the shins, maybe you make it down to the ankles or the knife edge of the feet. Either way, you're just going to tuck that chin to your chest, round that spine, and just hang heavy. If it's too much in the back of the legs, you can have a slight bend, or you can stop flexing those feet back. You can just leave them relax, and it'll make the stretch a little less intense. So here we are in our forward fold, just a few breaths. And we're going to begin to flow here. So inhale, you're rounding up. We're going to plant those hands a little behind us. Those shoulders are going to be right above the wrists. We're going to plant the soles of the feet. And with an inhale, we're going to take our reverse tabletop. If it feels good in the neck, you can look back. If not, you can look up or keep looking forward. Exhale, dropping the booty slowly down, straightening out those legs. Inhale, extend the arms. Exhale, fold. Breathing here. Inhale again, rounding up, planting those hands, planting the feet. Exhaling, and then with an inhale, you're going to push up. Hips rise. Shoulder blades are trying to come together on that back. Exhale, slowly lower the hips down. Straightening out those legs. Inhale, arms rise to the sky. Hinge at those hips. Exhale, fold. So sticking with that reverse tabletop if that felt good, but I'm going to show you another option just so you can maybe progress toward it. You're going to inhale, rise up. We're going to plant our hands just like we did. Those fingertips are coming back toward our body. And if that's too tight in the shoulders, they can fan a little out to the sides. So those hands are planted. We're going to point those toes. Inhale, you're lifting those hips. We're coming into a reverse plank here. So if you're like, nope, no way, not doing that, just stick with that reverse table. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, folding. Inhale, coming back up. Planting those hands and doing which one you liked best, reverse table or that reverse plank. Exhale, you're slowly lowering those hips back down. Last forward fold. Inhale, the arms extend. Exhale, hinge at those hips. Folding forward. I'm going to turn back forward so you can see me for the next bit. We're going to inhale, come up, bringing that left foot with us. So either you bring the left foot inside of the shin, again, bypass that knee, or bring it inside the thigh. Sits bones again are grounded, remove any flesh if you have to. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, hinging at hips, finding our one-legged head to knee pose. So you just might be here holding onto the shin. Hands can even be on the mat beside the leg. And as the flexibility improves, you'll be able to get your hands down further. Maybe they clasp behind the foot. Maybe they're just on the side of the foot. Inhale, you're going to slowly round up. We're going to take that leg out wide, so coming to like the corner of the mat, wherever it might be for you. So maybe here, a little wider out here. You're going to bring that foot a little more into the groin. We're going to use this hand to come inside that right leg and use that hand to push against the leg and fan that chest out and up. We're going to extend that left arm up and over, taking a really nice side stretch. Feeling that stretch from the hip point up through the armpit to those fingertips. And again, if it hurts your neck, keep looking down. Look forward. Look high. With an inhale, you're going to rise up. And we're going to take that left leg out. So we're going to come into a nice wide fold. So wherever it might be for you, might not seem that wide. Mine definitely isn't. Maybe you use your hands to just kind of push you into it a little deeper. Those toes are going to stay flexed back toward the face, but if that's too intense on the back of the legs, just relax the feet. Inhale, you're just going to puff the chest forward, lengthen the spine, and on the exhale, we're going to fall in between that space. So for you, it might just be here, palms rest, looking down, and that might be intense enough. So if that's where it is for you, just breathing. You visualize your breath going to the tight areas, and that's why breathing is so important in yoga. You're bringing your breath to the areas that are tight, and you're just allowing that exhale to soften the areas a little more. Increasing, improving that in flexibility. Maybe you come down into the forearms. Maybe someday that forehead will rest. But for now, wherever you are, just a gentle stretch, never any pain. Inhale, using the hands to bring you back up. And on the exhale, we're going to frame that right leg and just fall down over that right leg. So again, for you, this might be it. And that's cool. Eventually, as the flexibility improves, that head can come down towards that knee. And with an inhale, coming up. Exhale, framing left leg and falling over that leg as well. Resting on palms and forearms or head resting down toward that knee. Wherever you are is just where you're supposed to be. Few breaths. It is said that where your mind goes, the breath will flow. So that's why you just try to keep your mind focused on the present. On where you feel the tightness, where you feel the tension, where you need to release and relax a little more. Inhale, bringing yourself back up. We're going to bring that right foot back into that groin area, or maybe it's a little further down. This is my bad knee, so sometimes I can't bend it completely, so I'm just going to bring it down by my thigh. We're going to use that left hand to come inside of the left leg, pushing against it, opening that chest out and up, extending the right arm up and over, and getting that nice side stretch here. Inhale, bringing yourself back up. We're going to bring that left leg straight out in front of us. So we're bringing that right foot again. It can be inside of that shin, inside of that thigh. Inhale, extend the arms. Exhale, you're hinging at those hips. Falling forward. One-legged head to knee pose. Again, toes are coming back to the face, but if that's too intense for the back of the leg, just allow that foot to relax. Another deep breath here. Inhale, rising up. We're going to make our way onto our backs. All right. So coming back down on your back. Bring those arms up overhead. Take a full body stretch here. So point those toes, reach from those fingertips. And maybe then you flex the feet and push out from those heels, just getting the body stretch in the back of the legs. We're going to bring that right knee into our chest, giving it a nice squeeze. Trying to get more into that right hip than anywhere else. That right foot is flexed. And I'm going to turn this way so you can see what I do next. So after we squeeze that knee in, we're going to take our right hand outside of that knee and we're just going to open that hip up. So as you can see, my hips are not loose by any means. So this is it for me, and that's fine. Just trying to get a nice inner thigh, groin stretch, the hip flexors stretching. Then we're going to inhale and bring that right leg up. You're going to take the left hand outside of the right knee and just allow it to cross your body. Coming into a really nice spinal twist. Right shoulder is trying to stay planted. Maybe you look down the right arm. That deepens the spinal twist. Inhale, bringing that leg back up and just extending it down beside the left. Take notice, it might feel like it's longer than the other one. So now we're going to get the left leg the same. We're going to crunch that knee in toward the chest, maybe grabbing below that knee and just squeezing it in, getting into that hip. That left hand comes inside the left knee and you're just fanning that leg out, getting into that hip on the opposite side. Inhale, that left leg comes up, right hand grabs the outside of the left knee and you're just allowing it to cross your body. Again, you're keeping left shoulder on the mat as much as you can. Maybe you look down the left arm. Just take that spinal twist. Inhale, you're going to bring that leg up and just release it down beside the right. Maybe taking another full body stretch. And then we're going to bring the hands down by the side. We're going to take a bridge pose. So we're going to plant the soles of the feet down, knees up to the sky. And you want to have your low back. So sometimes I lift my booty up and just kind of pull the glutes away so that my low back is really planted. So with an inhale, we're going to push into the hands, push into the feet, and lift our hips up, coming onto those shoulder blades. And maybe this is your bridge pose. As the flexibility improves in the back, the shoulder blades can come together, and you might be able to clasp your hands. If not, here's fine. You're trying not to push your chest too close. You have big boobs, so maybe this is a little harder. So just try to keep that airway free. You don't want to block off your breathing. Tiny little squeeze of the glutes will help to strengthen that low back. And maybe once this bridge becomes easy for you, you can start lifting legs here. So maybe that left foot walks in just a little, and you lift that right leg up. Exhale, release it down. Inhale, extend the left. Maybe that's not today. Maybe you're just here in that bridge. With an exhale, you're slowly going to lower the spine down. Last stretch we're going to do of the whole practice. We're going to take that right ankle and cross it over the left knee. I'll go this way so you can kind of see me a little better. Keeping that right foot flexed. And first we're just going to use the right hand to push that thigh away. If this is enough for you, stay here with it for a few practices. But as the flexibility improves in the glute and the hip, you'll be able to lift that left foot up, take the hands and just grab around that hamstring, so around that thigh. And you're just gently pulling the left leg in as that right knee is going out. So you'll feel it maybe in the hips, maybe the glutes. I have really tight hamstrings as well, so I feel mine in my hamstrings sometimes. Feet stay flexed, and just breathe into that hip. Full deep breaths. This can also go further, maybe not today, but eventually you can bend that left knee and grab the shin instead. So you can pull that leg in just a little closer. On an exhale, you're going to release that left foot down, put the right foot down. Maybe just windshield wiper the legs back and forth just to remove any congestion you might be feeling in the right hip. And now we're going to move into that opposite side. So planting the left sole of the foot. Actually, no, we just did that one, sorry. Plant the right sole of the foot, left ankle crosses, toes are flexed. Left hands gently pushing thigh away. Working at call centers, being on our asses all the time just really did not help us in any way with our hips and with our glutes. Just sitting all the time, I feel like our fascia just fused together. My hips are so tight. If you want to take this further, right foot lifts, hands clasp behind that thigh. Your head and shoulders are resting on the mat, toes are flexed, and you're just gently pulling that right thigh in, feeling it in the glute. Maybe taking it deeper if you want, grabbing that shin instead. This usually hurts my knee a little too much to do, but if you want to take it further, that option is there. Exhale, release the hands, right foot finds the mat, left foot down, and then just windshield wiper, back and forth. Now we're going to take our final pose. And I don't know if you wanted Shavasana or not, so if you don't, stop the video. But if you want to take those few minutes for relaxation, you're going to extend those legs straight out. Feet are flaring out to the side, palms up to the sky. And I want you to close your eyes and just begin to relax. Relaxation is really just observing your own tension. So I want you to begin scanning your entire body to notice if you hold tension anywhere. Maybe you begin noticing the toes, noticing the feet. Feel those heels melting into the mat, moving up through our ankles. Notice where the calves make contact with the ground. Shins relaxed. Moving up through our knees to our hamstrings. Completely relaxed here, melting into our mat. Taking notice of your quads. If they are clenched or tight at all, just try to breathe into them and allow them to soften. And then direct your attention to your glutes. Another place where we hold a lot of tension without really realizing until we bring our attention there. So just taking notice, allowing glutes to relax. Moving up into the pelvic floor. Breathe deeply. Trying to bring that air down from the lungs into the belly and then down into that pelvic floor. Exhale, low back melts a little deeper into the mat. Inhale again, you're feeling that chest rise, the lungs are filling. Exhale, shoulder blades melting into that mat. Just a little more. Moving down from the shoulders into our biceps and triceps. Down into the forearms, hands and fingers completely at ease. Coming to the throat, a gentle swallow. And then take notice of your jaw, another area we hold a lot of tension. Allow your teeth to separate. Tongue falls to the bottom of the mouth. Feeling that cool, fresh, energizing air coming in through our nostrils. taking notice of the third eye, the space between the brows, another area that we are known to clench, furrow our brow, or hold tension in that space. So just breathe into that space. Maybe a gentle smile finds the face, and you're allowing the face to relax. Breathing deeply. Again, we're trying to keep our mind present. The main purpose of the poses in yoga is for what you are doing right now. Mindful breathing and using the focus on that breath to stop the chatter that we all have going on in our heads all the time. We're just trying to quiet the brain down and allow that parasympathetic nervous system to take over and rejuvenate our body, heal our body, and relax our body. Breathing just a little deeper. Maybe you invite some small movement back into the body by wiggling your fingers and your toes. A gentle rock of the head, side to side. Maybe you begin to circle the wrists and the ankles. And with an inhale, you're bringing those arms up overhead. You're going to take that full body stretch once again, as if you're just waking up. Exhale, you're hugging knees in towards your chest. Just a nice hug of gratitude for all of the wonderful things your body does for you on a daily basis. And then slowly roll on to one side, finding our fetal position. The corpse pose symbolizes a death of the practice, but the fetal pose symbolizes a rebirth, because you can take your yoga off of the mat and into the world just by living every moment in the present. Just by breathing deeply and mindfully. And when you're ready, using your hands to bring you up into the seat where we began. Hands to heart center, bow your head to your own heart. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free, and may the thoughts, words, and actions of my life contribute to that happiness and to that freedom. And every practice ends with namaste. Hope you enjoy. I hope it worked because it was black mostly the whole time, but you let me know if there's anything you didn't like, anything I'm not very clear on. You don't have to comment below, but you could just give me your feedback. I hope it's good. It's almost 55 minutes long, so that should be plenty of time for your first little bit. And I know I did a lot of talking, so you don't even really have to listen to that every time. I guess I should stop talking so much and just send you yoga videos. But I love you a whole bunch.